¿Qué pasó, way? It's your homeboy Quetzalcoatl hitting your bitch ass up with another video. On today's episode of the Fuck Your Life Boxing Show, we're going to talk about the huge upcoming bout between Guillermo, Rigondeaux, and Nonito, Filipino Donaire. This fight is coming up this Saturday. Great fight. I'm hyped up for it. I hope you motherfuckers are. I'm going to break down this fight, give you my prediction on how I see this fight going down. We'll start off with Guillermo Rigondeaux. Guillermo Rigondeaux holds a record of 11 victories with no losses. 8 of those victories coming by way of KO, putting motherfuckers to sleep. Guillermo Rigondeaux is 32 years old. He's a very defensive fighter who has great defensive skills, great footwork. He has very solid power for his size, and is regarded as one of the best amateur fighters of all time, winning Olympic gold medals. Turning pro relatively late in his career, which is why he only has 11 fights. As you know, with a lot of Cuban fighters, many of them turn professional later on in their career, whether it be with baseball, boxing, or whatever sport they participate in, because Cuban athletes cannot become professional athletes in Cuba. You know, they have to leave Cuba and live in Mexico, such as Nápoles did, or immigrate here to the United States, such as Guillermo Rigondeaux is doing at the moment. But Guillermo Rigondeaux has shown that he has been able to transfer his amateur skills into the professional ring. As you saw, he only has one big fight, but that one big fight was a dominating performance versus Rigo Ramos, where he captured the WBA 122-pound title. Rigo possesses some skill. He possesses some attributes that I feel are going to frustrate Nonito, and mainly those defensive skills that he has. When you saw Nonito fight Narvaez, the Argentine fighter who was going up actually in weight to fight Nonito, you saw that Narvaez gave Nonito a lot of problems with his defensive skills. Now, HBO was kind of trying to make Nonito look good by saying that Narvaez wasn't engaging in battle and that Nonito was trying to make the fight and this and that, but I think HBO was giving a little bit too much credit to Nonito. A lot of the things that Narvaez was doing while he was fighting basically a defensive fight, I mean, he was frustrating Nonito a lot, and you got to give credit to that. I thought HBO didn't give Narvaez credit for that. And Guillermo Rigondeaux's defense is a notch, maybe 2 notches above what Narvaez is. So, I mean, you have to think that might give him problems. This is a very exciting fucking fight. I mean, it was so hard deciding on who I was going to go with, what my prediction was for this fight, because, I mean, this fight is literally 50-50. If you don't have my prediction for this fight, I can't even blame you. You know what I'm saying? Because this fight is so close. Guillermo Rigondeaux's chin at the moment, if you saw his last fight, a lot of people were questioning his chin after he was rocked twice by Marroquin. Me, myself, I would have to say that there is some validation in those doubts in his chin. While this was only one fight, and those moments should define a man's chin, it should be taken into consideration that Marroquin is no Donaire. If Donaire lands a shot as clean as Marroquin did, it's over. It's over. You know what I'm saying? So you do have to put that into consideration. Rigo must fight a perfect fight in order to win this. He must fight a perfect fight. He makes one mistake. If Donaire lands that huge left hook that he's landed on motherfuckers like Darchinian and Montiel, that had them looking like they just fucked up an 18-pack, made the motherfuckers look sloppy drunk, he will make Guillermo Rigondeaux look the same exact way. Nonito, he can afford a couple of mistakes and he can still come out on top. But Guillermo Rigondeaux has to fight a perfect fight in order to win this fight. Now, Nonito Donaire is 30 years old. He holds a victory of 31 victories with 1 loss. That sole loss coming in the beginning of his career. And he has 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Nonito Donaire was a fighter who I had predicted against in the past. Not in any of my videos, because I've been doing videos for a little less than a year now. But fights before, such as when he fought Montiel and when he fought Victor Chinian, you know, I thought Nonito was going to get knocked the fuck out. And I ended up looking fucking stupid. And ever since then, I've said it in previous videos, you know, I gave Nonito his props. I gave him his respect, and he deserved that respect. He got that respect from me by shutting me the fuck up. You see what I'm saying? And Nonito Donaire is no joke. You know, a lot of people say he's a bum, that he's overrated, but that is far from the case. Nonito Donaire has great speed. He has very good power. Although I would agree with the people who say that he has defensive flaws. Nonito Donaire has only had 2 huge fights in his career. Those 2 huge fights coming versus Victor Chinian and Fernando Montiel. While he's had 2 big fights, these 2 fights were years apart, and he's been fighting what some would deem as mediocre competition in between those 2 huge fights. If Donaire catches Rigo clean with those hooks, as I said, it's over. You know, there's been a lot of trash talking going back and forth between these 2 fighters for the past couple of years. Rigondeaux has been calling them out, and you know, Nonito Donaire tries to act like he doesn't really know who he is and shit like that. And, you know, now that the fight is signed and sealed, I mean, there's a lot more trash talking going around. You know, Robert Garcia claims that Nonito is going to stop Rigo in 2 rounds. While I got a lot of respect for Nonito Donaire and Robert Garcia, I really don't see that happening. Now, if they think that they're just going to blow Rigo out the water, then they're going to be in for a rude awakening. And that's not the type of mentality that Nonito Donaire should be taking into this fight, just thinking that he's just going to walk over this motherfucker. Because you going to get your ass stomped out thinking like that. Now, as far as my prediction, man, damn, man, this shit, it was a hard choice. It really was, man. In this fight, if Rigo wins, he's the next superstar. If Donaire wins, all the haters that have talked shit about him, they can no longer question his pound-for-pound status. If he beats Guillermo Rigondeaux convincingly, you know, without any fucking controversy or any of that bullshit, all the haters, I mean, y'all gotta give him his props. I mean, there's nothing more you can say about Nonito if he wins this fight. Nonito has everything to lose in this fight. If he loses this fight, everybody, you know, that hated on him is gonna be like, hey, he wasn't shit after all. Once he fought somebody with some skill, he got his ass beat. So that's part of the thing too that had me thinking as far as who I was gonna go with. And while as a boxing fan, I'm rooting for Guillermo Rigondeaux. I'm rooting for him. That is not who I see winning this fight. While I am rooting for Guillermo Rigondeaux, my prediction for victory is Nonito Donaire. I think that the Filipino Flash is going to take this victory, and I think that this is going to be a career-defining moment for Donaire. And I think it's going to be a very exciting fight. I even feel like he's going to win so convincingly that a lot of the people who are hating on him, you know, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to keep talking shit about him. But, I mean, we'll see. You know, Guillermo can definitely pull this off. Like I said, this was a very hard decision to make. But just based on both fighters' recent fights, their overall career and attributes and skills, this was the decision that I came to. This was the prediction that I am making. If you don't have that, hey, I totally understand. Like I said, this is a close fucking fight. Let me know how you see this fucking fight going down. Who do you see winning and why? Are you going to watch this motherfucking fight? Because I am. Let me know what the fuck is cracking. If you like this shit, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This is your homeboy Quetzalcoatl, signing the fuck on now.